welcome to episode 8 of the MMG podcast. It is week 2 of our NFL picks, and I am joined once again by Gocubs 711.
I want to bathe in cheddar-coated popcorn.
Oh, I haven't had that in a long time.
It's delicious.
That is really good.
There's this bag that you can get called GH Creators, if you ever see it, or something like that. It's a white bag with blue, and it has caramel corn and cheese corn inside, and it's the best, one of the best inventions of mankind.
My goodness, yeah, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Now that I'm hungry, that's gonna be a distraction. Welcome back to our NFL-oriented podcast, and we are going to recap real quick week 1 of the NFL season. It was weird. It was a weird week, I would say, overall. I enjoyed it for its weirdness. I don't think the games were that great until late Monday night, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
But what would you say, if you had to pick one word, Gocubs, to describe this week, how would you describe it?
Blowouts, but some surprising blowouts.
That's you know what? That's why I enjoy though. If you're gonna give me blowouts, give me something that's like that's not the usual shit that we usually watch.
Right.
So I'm gonna just do a quick rundown of the games, and we're gonna start with a game that actually was not even played, and that was the Buccaneers at the Dolphins. Obviously, we're thinking about everyone right now in hurricane that was affected by Hurricane Irma, especially in Florida. It was just, the images are insane to look at, and I hope that I have family down there, so I hope many people got out of there safe. That it's just really rough, and I'm glad that the NFL did not make a play at a hurricane. I think that was the obvious choice. Yeah. So the result of that game being canceled ended up moving that game to week 11. And now they're going to be playing 16 straight weeks.
Yes.
In for this season. Now, look, the Dolphins and Buccaneers don't seem like contending teams, but Dolphins were in the playoffs last year. Buccaneers are on the rise and could definitely make the playoffs. And it's kind of rough to play a 16 straight game schedule. I understand from other people's point of view that it was probably the only viable option outside of maybe moving it to a different venue. There's been times in the past where the NFL has had teams play 16 straight games, but you know what? I just there's something that bothers me about that, because when they played 16 straight games, it was back in the 90s when we really did not know that much about football in terms of how dangerous it really is, and it is a dangerous game. It's my biggest concern for both the Dolphins and the Buccaneers this season, because I would love to see both do somewhat well. It would be interesting to see them do well because you don't expect them to. And it's going to be a real damper once week 11 goes by and the mountain of games that they have to play without a bye, just they have to go straight through that, and they get tired, and it's a little disappointing. So it's just a bummer. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but it's just a bummer in that front. But I think overall, though, it was a good call by the NFL to cancel the game. It just probably was for the better.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's quickly get through 15 games. First, the Patriots at the Chiefs, or the Chiefs at the Patriots kickoff game. The Chiefs coming in hot, defeating the Patriots 42-27.
Who would have expected that?
Yeah, what did you think of the game, Gocubs?
I didn't get to watch much of it, but the only takeaway that I had from that game was "fuck you, Patriots," and I left a player with 45 fantasy points on my bench. So.
Yes, that is Kareem Hunt, and he did wonders for Team Rookie. On my fantasy squad, but that was one of the biggest surprises and probably one of the best debuts you'll ever see in the NFL
Completely by Kareem Hunt. Just absolutely outstanding for him.
He was.
I hope he.
Yeah. he
I hope
was
he continues to do well.
he
Not just for my
was
fantasy team's sake, but like
oh yeah,
it'd be cool.
he was just it just made that Chiefs offense, which everyone makes fun of on like a frequent basis, so much fun to watch. And Alex Smith had a great game. I think a
Yeah,
large part because of him and because of Tyreek Hill, who's also a playmaker. It was just so insane to watch. I'm not too worried about the Patriots. I mean, the biggest concern for me right now is that their front seven, which we knew going into it, was not as strong as others in the league, and they're a little bit short on the wide receiver position. I mean, I don't they even though they did try to bring as much depth onto that team as possible. You now have Amendola out, which is really
yeah.
going to hurt, and Hogan and Cooks really didn't do that much for them in the game as much as they thought they were, and unfortunately ended up not working out for them. But I think that they'll be okay. I think they'll still be contenders, but it's just right now not off to the best start as possible. Moving
No.
on, let's head down to Houston. Hurricane Harvey really was just terrible that what happened down there, and the Texans were gonna put on this great show for their home crowd to bring their spirits up, but I'm pretty sure they just made them more depressed as the Jaguars came into Houston and blew out the
Yeah,
Texans. The
when I said surprising
29-7.
blowouts, this is one of the matchups that I was talking about.
29-7. A great defensive game. 9 sacks.
By
Nine
the fucking
sacks.
Jaguars.
The Jaguars, 9 sacks. But we knew also that the defense was supposed to be finally improved for this team, and they showed it in this game.
Yeah,
But now you have to worry about the Texans, who many thought could still compete in the AFC South. Many still think is a playoff team. Maybe
well,
maybe
playoff team in the AFC South has a lot of quotation marks around it.
Yes, of course, of course. But I mean, you would. I mean, personally, I would love at some point for the AFC South to make a leap and have like some really strong teams in it.
Yeah.
But this is just not a good start for the Houston Texans, who now have to play on Thursday night. They're going to be starting Deshaun Watson. They just announced that today. Should be
Yes.
interesting. I'm very excited to see that. We'll see how that affects our picks later on. Moving on,
Yeah.
the Eagles against the Redskins. It was a pretty close game until the very end when the Eagles, Fletcher Cox recovered a fumble and put it into the end zone for a touchdown, and that ended any hopes for the Redskins to win. 30-17. Redskins offense did not look that strong in this game, but the Eagles defensively looking pretty good, but they might be without Ronald Darby for at least a little while. I don't know if you have anything to add to that game.
Not really.
All right, moving on. Lions hosting the Cardinals. They ended up winning 35-23 after coming back from a late deficit. Once again, the Lions, the comeback kids.
The comeback Canes.
I don't know what it is with this Lions team, but every single time they start a season, you expect them to not be good, and then
they do the shit in fourth quarter.
yeah, and like for 3 quarters, you're like, yeah, see, the Lions, they're just not that
Yeah,
great.
look, they're just lying all over the place. Like,
And then fourth quarter, Matthew Stafford turns on his fucking engines, and it just goes insane. But they have quite the star in the making, and Kenny Galladay, a rookie. He played very well for them. Should be very interesting to see them going forward. See if how well they can continue playing. Moving on, Raiders at Titans, 26-16. Raiders topping the Titans. Marshawn Lynch looking great in his debut, looking pretty. And I was slightly surprised this wasn't a little bit closer. But the Titans are struggling out of the gate, and that's not a good sign for Tennessee.
no.
Next, the Jets and Bills. Oh God, the Bills. The Bills just took care of the Jets. Let's just not even talk about that game.
I literally I got the Bills defense just because I knew how awful the Jets were going to be.
Yeah, that was probably a smart move. I have yet to get a chance to watch the game. I actually did not watch the Jets, opted out of that, but I'm pretty sure they barely scored a first down at all during the game.
Yeah.
It was rough. and now the closest game of the week, well, at least before our Monday night late game, the Falcons at the Bears. Who would have fucking expected that?
Yeah, I'm not, and I'm a Bears fan.
You watched this game. Can you
Yes, I did.
recap just at least maybe like the ending of what happened?
Well, yeah, like it started. Bears were the first to score. It was only a field goal, but the Falcons never got like more than a touchdown plus field goal away from the Bears in terms of points. Like it was always within 10 points. Uh, it got to the ending, and the Bears were like near the end zone, but Mike Lennon and the offense just couldn't get it in there. Had they done it and kicked the extra point, they would have been like a point ahead and won the game. But there just wasn't enough time. Everyone was rushing.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it happen, but it was so close.
Yeah, I believe Brooks Reed was the final straw taking down Mike Lennon, or
Yeah.
whatever it was. I didn't.
Yeah, it also ended in a sack. So
Yeah,
it's just
so Brooks, that was Brooks Reed then.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't watch the game, so I was just watching my Twitter feed, waiting for either the Falcons or the Bears to say something, and then in all caps with like a million exclamation points, Brooks Reed from the Falcons Twitter account. I was just like, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're okay.
I will say though, and I'm just gonna bring this up because the Bears.
Yeah.
Tariq Cohen, a new rookie running back, made a fantastic debut as well. Not quite Kareem Hunt level, especially since we also have Jordan Howard on the team. But the combination of Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen is like making me really happy for the Bears' future. Like this is a good, really like fucking solid young backfield.
I think I don't know. I don't know if I think we probably were talking about a different team, but this could be another candidate for maybe doing like a Smash Mouth sequel with the you have DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry in Tennessee, and that you could have Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen. I'm a little worried about Jordan Howard because I feel like you had Jeremy Langford who got injured last season, and Jordan Howard kind of took over. I'm kind of worried if Tariq Cohen kind of takes over, if Jordan Howard's gonna be like faded out and then off the team in the off season. I don't know. I hope not, because I think Jordan Howard.
I hope they both do fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think that he's probably just a better player overall, Jordan Howard. I think that he'll probably stay on the team for a while. Let's talk Ravens Bengals 20-0 The Ravens.
This was so disappointing. I thought this was going to be a lot closer.
Yeah,
because I like both of these teams.
I was sucked into this game into picking the Bengals. Mainly because of the Ravens' injury problems, but the Ravens did not seem like they were slowed down at all. 4 interceptions for Andy Dalton, which was just ugly. Offensive line didn't really help much. Not a single point on the board. Ravens' defense looked just like the Ravens' defense always does, which is dominant. I think I was very hesitant about the Bengals during the offseason. Again, like the only reason I picked them was just because of who they were facing, but now I don't know. This might not be the 11-5 playoff wild card or AFC North team, but it is also just week 1. Maybe they could turn it around.
Yeah.
Steelers at Browns. Nice debut for Kaiser, but it did not result in a win. The Steelers take down the Browns 21-18. That's actually a lot closer than what I initially thought. Maybe all right, so that actually might be the like tied with the closest game of the week. But I think that was because last minute maybe garbage time points for the Browns. Regardless, though, nice win for the Steelers overall. Moving on to the Rams. Oh my, Los Angeles Rams going against the Indianapolis Colts. Oh God, all off season the storyline was Kaepernick and why he was not signed. This is a really good time, Colts, to maybe think about bringing Kaepernick in, or just anyone better than Scott Tolzien at this point, because he was just dreadful in this game. They did not convert a single third down, and while part of that was just them just being awful at offense, the Rams really stepped up. I believe they had 3 turnovers overall, or 2. I think they had 2 turnovers and a safety, winning 46-9. Jared Goff looked good, and it's just really surprising, and I am really thrilled because I really want the Rams to do well this year. I really like Sean McVay. It'll be interesting. They're right now alone on top of the NFC West. Should be interesting to see what's going to happen going forward.
Yeah.
Um, Next is the Panthers and Niners. Well, the internet, my upset pick, or it wasn't a team chaos pick, but surprise pick, I guess, did not end up panning out for me as the Panthers dominated the 49ers 23-3.
Yes.
I was hoping, I just didn't think the Panthers had as strong a defense as they actually did end up coming out with.
Pounding.
Yeah, I did.
Pounding.
I doubted it. I doubted Panthers, and I paid for it. So I will say, you know what, Panthers, I'm all in now too. I think you guys are a lot better than what I thought. I am still just a bit concerned about Cam Newton, though. He still did not look that great in terms of his shoulder, but over time, if he keeps working at it, I think that this offense could still look great.
Yeah.
But the Niners a little bit disappointing. I thought they would come out a little bit stronger. Didn't work out. All right. Packers, Seahawks. Packers win 17-9. It was a very defensive battle. It didn't take till
I actually watched this one. It was very defensive.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of, unfortunately, because of how defensive it was, I actually fell asleep at one point watching this game. Not meant to be like it was boring or anything, but just nothing was really happening, and I just kind of dozed off for a bit. But as far as I know, the Aaron Rodgers then lit it up basically in the fourth quarter to go score a few points or score a few touchdowns, and then get to 17-9. Beating the Seahawks, who I don't know. I just thought the Seahawks had it in them, but the offensive line is the biggest concern right now with that team. Now they're gonna go face the Niners, who may still have a decent defensive front, but maybe they can come back in this one. Seahawks could probably beat them. But Packers looking really interesting and on a lot of people's list, the number one team in the league right now, which doesn't really surprise me considering that the Packers are just always pretty decent on offense, and now defensively held the Seahawks to 9 points. Sunday Night Football, my Giants. Speaking of offensive line issues, Cowboys beating them handily 19-3 was just not a pretty sight, not a pretty game for the Big Blue. But the Cowboys' offense still looked. The offense was still held to 19 points, so I could at least have some solace that the Giants' defense is still doing pretty okay. But when they have to go out there every 5 seconds because the offense is so terrible, they're not going to be able to keep the same strength up throughout the whole game. Cowboys are looking interesting, and if Elliott stays, doesn't. I don't think he's going to be suspended probably this year. He's going to be huge for them going forward, and I think they're back in NFC contention. All right, Monday Night Football. Two of my favorite games. I know the Vikings Saints game was not necessarily close, but it was still a lot of fun to watch. Especially Sam Bradford. Holy crap! Him and Stephon Diggs just had a connection during that game, and they ended up winning 29-19. Their defense looked pretty good. If their offense can remain, if the offensive line can continue opening up holes for Dalvin Cook, who had a pretty nice debut, that's another team that could contend in the NFC North. The Saints.
I'd rather see that than the fucking Packers.
Yes, yeah. Oh, the Bears. The Bears fan coming out. But the Saints, every offseason for the last 3 off seasons, it feels people say, "Oh, the Saints defense is better. The Saints defense is better." This is a constant storyline, and almost every time it's proven against what people believe. And I really am worried that if this is the last year of Drew Brees and Sean Payton in New Orleans, that they're not going to be able to at least get them close to playoffs or at least a winning record or something, because right now that defense does not look like that's going to do it. And finally, unless you wanted to say something about that first. Monday Night Football
Not
game.
really.
Okay, Chargers at Broncos. I was I was nervous about this game at like midway through because I actually texted Gocubs that, well, this might be over. It was 24-7, and or it was a 17-point game, and
Yeah.
just all my confidence was kind of just down the drain. I didn't know whether or not the Chargers could get back in it. So
And then the Broncos defense or the offense fucked up a bit.
yeah, it was with the help of first of all an interception. Well, first of all, I think they got like a field goal, and then so that made it I think 24-10, and then there was an interception in which the ball was thrown by Trevor Siemian. It bounced off of a leg of a Broncos player. Then a Chargers player essentially kicked it up in the air with his feet, and another Chargers player intercepted that ball. It was a really like a little acrobatic play that happened, and that ended up resulting in 7 a little bit later on. And then Jamal Charles, who was making his Broncos debut, fumbled the football, picked up by the Chargers, and then they were able to score that one. And actually, so they probably did not have a field goal beforehand.
No.
So those two turnovers by the Broncos ended up making the game 24-21. The Broncos almost made it back down the field to score a field goal to kind of like move get them out of the way of make sure that the Chargers will be forced to go for a touchdown. But Brandon McManus, who was paid a good amount of money, like new contract and everything, wide right. And so the Chargers come back on the field, they march down the field, and now there's this rookie who comes out and he has to make the final kick in order to send this game to overtime, and he makes it, but new head coach Vance Joseph ices him with a timeout, and then on the second kick it was blocked and the field goal was no good, and the Broncos won. It was the most exciting game of the week, and it was at 1:30 in the morning. I didn't care. It was so exciting. I was just like, oh my god. I felt terrible for the rookie. Because you kind of like he almost had that moment. He almost saved that game for the Chargers, but the ice got him again. But it was just a fascinating game, and I strongly urge anyone with like NFL Game Pass or if it's just re-air somewhere to watch it, because it was really fascinating to watch, especially the fourth quarter. Did you watch any of it, or did you opt not to?
I fell asleep.
Yeah, that's fair. It was late night. But I think overall, not the best week of football. Definitely a slow start. The offenses were not that great, but a few gems of games here and there from Falcons, Bears, Chargers, Broncos, all pretty good games. All right, let's move on to our picks. Rough week for you and I. We started the season 6-9. And what we were talking about this off camera or off pod, no camera here, but we wanted to really figure out what we were going to do when we pick Team Chaos or pick a guarantee in the point system with that. So essentially, the way that we're going to do it is that when you guarantee something, like you guarantee that someone's going to win, and I think that's pretty much a requirement for the series that you have at least one guarantee per week.
Yeah.
That if
only one.
Yeah. Only one per week. If you win it, if you get it right that team wins, then you won't get any extra points. But if that team loses, you'll lose an extra point. So that's so basically like the way that we have our record 6-9. If you do the math with that, 6 minus 9 is -3. So if let's say the Falcons lost on Sunday, we would be looking at -5. But luckily they won, so there's no changes with the score on that front. And then as for Team Chaos, I claimed that the Browns would be a Team Chaos, but I didn't end up picking them, nor with Gocubs. I don't think it will be a requirement to actually pick the Team Chaos to win, but I think it can be a requirement to at least name one. But if the Team Chaos wins somehow, you'll get an extra point, so it'll be 2 points overall if you pick Team Chaos to win. If not, if they do end up losing, you won't lose any extra points for that. So right now, no extra points in play for us. We got 0 extra points for this past week, and we are right now sitting at the -3. So it's not looking good for us. But hopefully we could turn it around this week. So let's see what happens. We're gonna start with the Thursday night football game, Texans at Bengals. Logical succession. Who do you have in Texans at Bengals?
Both of these teams had a really rough first game, and as much as I want to pick the Cats, I have to go with the Texans. I think that defensively they're overall stronger, and yeah.
Defensively they're stronger, and I think even though their offensive line is a little rough right now with missing Dwayne Brown, Deshaun Watson has the ability to be a little bit more mobile than I think Tom Savage ever had. And I think in that sense, that's going to help the Texans win. It's going to be close, but I think it's going to be an ugly game. But I think the Texans are going to come out on top. Let's move on to the Patriots at the Saints. Patriots looking for redemption. Saints as well. Both of these, I thought that both of these teams would be really dynamic offenses, really high-scoring game. It may still be, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. What do you who do you have, Go Cubs?
For what game? Sorry, you cut out for a lot of that.
Oh, Patriots at Saints.
Patriots at Saints. Did I write this one down?
Well,
I didn't write this one down, but I'm definitely picking Patriots.
Yeah. I would take the Patriots on this one. Look, again, everyone that wants to already say that the Patriots are doomed, you're falling into the same trap
that everyone does every year.
Every year, back in 2014, when the Patriots got blown up by the Chiefs before they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So don't fall into that trap again. All right. Let's move on. Bears at Buccaneers. Buccaneers returning back to Florida for the first time since Hurricane Irma. I think the home field advantage may be in their favor, but the Bears, frisky. What do you got, Go Cubs?
Had a really surprising first week, and because of that, they're my Team Chaos pick.
All right, Team Chaos. And you're picking them to win?
I'm picking the Bears to win.
All right. So Team Chaos. Look at that. I love it. All right, so
I went from having the guarantee against the Bears last week to having
Team Chaos. But hey, I mean, there's no huge risk with taking Team Chaos, right? At the end of the day, it's a little bit more fun. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers now. I can't jump on the Team Chaos board with that. I just think there's a good amount of rest with the Buccaneers, and they're just I think overall a really good team at home. I think it looks good.
I totally agree with that.
No, that's it. Hey, I like the boldness of it though. I really do. Eagles at Chiefs, underrated, really good game for next week. I really am looking forward to this one. It's gonna be close. 2 1-0 teams going up against each other. Who do you got, Go Cubs?
I have the Chiefs.
Chiefs? I agree. I think the Chiefs.
I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to stop that offense.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles look like they have one of the best defensive lines, but I just right now I think it's gonna be really good defense against really good defense, and right now I would say that the Chiefs' offense looks a lot better than the Eagles' offense. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on that front. Another good looking game: Vikings at the Steelers. This is a rematch of a Super Bowl. I just can't remember what number it was.
A very long time ago.
Very long time ago. So who do you have? It was probably like Super Bowl like 7, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So who do you have in this game?
This was a pretty close one for me, but I ended up saying the Steelers in the end.
Yeah, I agree. Steelers. I think that they just have a little bit more of a dynamic offense, but I would not be surprised if the Vikings pull out a fast one on this. Oh yeah, by the way, I kind of skipped ahead here without realizing it. Patriots are my guarantee for the week.
Okay.
I did not make that clear before. Guarantee for the Patriots. So we'll see if they lose. I lose 2 points, but it'll be kind of worth it because it would be interesting to see Patriots go to 0-2 to start out. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hate Patriots. All right, Browns at Ravens, and you know, it's this is you want to maybe have some hope for the Browns right now, but they're going against a really tough Ravens defense. I don't know, Gocubs, who do you have?
Ravens.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But I agree with that. Ravens are looking a lot better.
Yeah.
Right now, but we'll see. Bills at Panthers, interconference matchup. Panthers coming off a strong win. Bills coming off a strong win. Both played crappy teams last week. What will happen this week, Go Cubs?
I think that the Panthers have more to offer than what the Bills do. They've just got if Cam Newton can like get himself a little bit better, that combined with just a stunning Panthers defense, in my opinion at least, will like push them over the Bills for sure.
Yeah, the Bills, they played the crappy team in the Jets, but now they're going to be facing the big dogs, and I just don't, or the big cats in this instance.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. It would, it's Sean McDermott's former team. He is the new head coach of the Bills. He came over from Carolina. Maybe he might have something in his back pocket that he could pull out and somehow beat the Panthers. I just don't see that happening right now, especially with the Panthers at home. So I'm going with the Panthers. Cardinals at Colts. Oh god, this just turned into one of the more ugly games. We didn't even mention the fact that David Johnson is going to be out for a lot of the season, which is not only a loss to the Cardinals, but a loss for football. He's very fun to watch. And it's really disappointing to see him go down with a wrist injury. But now this is going to be definitely one of the more uglier games. But who you have winning this matchup?
I still have I have the Cardinals over the Colts. Like the Colts are just a fucking mess right now.
Yeah,
they let the Rams do that to them.
Yeah,
the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, I'm a little bit more optimistic on the Rams than you are, but I think the Colts. It makes me feel good and also feel bad as a Jets fan to watch the Colts lose because both on one be like one of the worst teams in the league because on one hand it makes the Jets less of a laughing stock, but then on the other hand the Jets might lose their chance on their one overall pick to the fucking Colts again. They lost it for Peyton Manning. We almost had Peyton Manning. Fucking lost it. Jets luck. All right. Anyways, Titans at Jaguars. I hold a lot of rage for something that happened in the 90s where I didn't even know that football existed. Titans at Jaguars. Underrated good game. I hope to see the Titans, get out of the little bit of a struggle that they had against the Raiders. The Jaguars defense is looking really strong right now. Leonard Fournette, one of the leading rushers right now in the league. Yeah. I don't know. What do you got, Go Cubs?
One's really hard for me. I'm gonna change what I wrote down.
All right.
Jaguars over Titans.
Jaguars over. I'm with you. Jaguars over Titans. I would not expect this. I would think that the Titans would be the easy pick right here, but because I pictured them winning or at least lose, if not winning, but losing a close one. But they just right now they're not looking that strong offensively as we thought they were going to be going into the season. And you can't have like a kind of weary offensive line against this Jaguars front that got 9 sacks last
Yeah.
week. You got so I'm picking the Jaguars surprisingly. So let's move on. Jets and Raiders. Do we even need to spend that much time on this?
This is my lock.
Yeah, I would figure. I think that's probably a stronger guarantee than the Patriots winning the over the Colts. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. Raiders.
Raiders over Jets.
Raiders over Jets. All right, Dolphins at Chargers. Dolphins, another team that was affected by Hurricane Irma, not going to be returned back to Miami until like week 5. So now they're going to be playing their first game of the season against the LA Chargers, who had a pretty okay game, almost coming back to win. We'll see what happens. What do you think was going to happen?
Despite all the offensive weapons that the Dolphins have, they're currently under the direction of that guy.
He should not be named.
Yeah.
Chico.
Yeah. And like, while I kind of like the Dolphins, and I hope that like Ajayi and Parker and Landry and them do well. I think the Chargers are going to win this one.
Yeah, I agree. We're in sync right now.
I think we've picked the same ones except for Bears and Buccaneers.
Yeah, we're in sync right now.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the Chargers because now that I think Jay Cutler is going to be playing that bad, I have a little bit more optimism for him. But I just
You
think
haven't been a Bears fan.
I completely understand the many years of Jay Cutler being an awful quarterback, and I'm on that team. I understand that he's been awful, but there's been one pretty decent season statistically that he's had, and that was back in 2015, when Adam Gase was the offensive coordinator. He played pretty okay, and maybe on the Dolphins team, maybe that could come back out. But we'll see. He might still suck. Who knows? But because of that kind of, maybe that little bit of wariness, plus I just think right now, being in LA, and kind of having to come back out there, I think the Chargers are going to win this one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go Niners at Seahawks. Who do you have?
Seahawks.
Seahawks. All right.
The Niners are just so bad.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I wanted them to win last week. I thought that they were going to come out strong. Coach Shanahan. I can't convince myself of this. I'm going Seahawks. I was about to go Team Chaos. Niners. I can't make that shot. I gotta go with the Seahawks. I will adjust. I will adjust
Are you gonna make a different team cast?
We'll see in a second. Let's just keep going for now. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Redskins at Rams. Rams coming off an insane victory. Redskins coming off a pretty rough loss. Momentum is in favor of the Rams, but can the Redskins beat Sean McVay, his former team?
I'm gonna lean on the side of momentum for this one and pick the Rams.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna pick the Rams for this one as well. It's and the Rams will go 2-0 to start the season. Looking
weird.
Looking weird.
Goddamn! Wait. The Rams are in first place.
I told you that before we call. I think I said that. I said that earlier in the podcast. Actually.
Yeah.
Did that not sink in for you?
No. It's like the Jaguars are in first place. This is weird.
Oh my god! All right. By the way, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna announce my Team Chaos here, and I hate to do this again. But this is the first time I'm calling Team Chaos in this. Against this team. But I called an upset last week that didn't end up panning out. I'm going with the Bills over the Panthers. I'm not. It's not that I don't doubt the Panthers. I'm sure they're gonna win. But there was a part of me when we were doing the picks that I kind of was thinking like, well, wait a minute. Former defensive coordinator, had a pretty decent game against the Jets, even though it was the Jets. I don't know. Maybe it could work out. But it's just the best option right now for me with Team Chaos.
Okay.
So that's really what it comes down to. Um, all right. Anyways, moving on to Cowboys at Broncos. The Broncos, one of the best defenses in the league, against the Cowboys, one of the best offenses in the league. What do you how do you think it's gonna go down?
This was another close one. Man, I really don't know. I have the Cowboys.
You're going Cowboys?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're split on this one.
All right.
I'm taking the Broncos mainly because until the final quarter, Trevor Siemian had a pretty nice game, and that offense generally had a pretty nice game. I think they're facing a weaker defense than they did with the Chargers. I think the Cowboys are not as strong on defense, but the Cowboys have done miraculous things in the past, and with their defense.
It's not in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the one thing for them. But and the Cowboys they just figure out ways to win games, and especially with Ezekiel Elliott being there. So I think it's going to be a very close game, but I have a little bit more confidence in the Broncos right now.
Yeah.
All right. Packers at Falcons, Sunday Night Football, opening stadium for the Falcons. New stadium, shiny stadium.
Chick-fil-A that's closed on Sundays.
Yeah, it's really rough for them. There'll be one game that the Falcons will have Chick-fil-A open. It'll be their Thursday Night Football game that they have this year. So, really, not so great for Chick-fil-A fans, but for Falcons fans, they get to enjoy a new stadium and hopefully maybe a home win against the really. Everyone's calling them again the best team in the league right now, the Packers. Could be a good game. What do you think?
I think it will be a good game. I actually have the Packers winning.
You did pick the Packers. I didn't know if you had it in you. All right, I thought you were going to go Falcons.
I love the Falcons, but they almost let the Bears beat them.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I gotta go with the Packers because that's what worries me the most. Matt Ryan, great debut. He had a pretty nice game despite playing it so close. He had a pretty nice game, so maybe that will play a factor. But right now, the Packers are looking really nice.
I'm picking the Packers, but I really hope the Falcons win.
Oh, well, no. I mean, this has nothing to do with rooting interest, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, of course I'd asked or hoped that the Jets would beat the Raiders, but we know that's not fucking happening.
No.
So
it's not.
It is not. All right. Let's do Monday Night Football now. Lions at Giants. Lions again. This is another game where you have one team going in with momentum while another team's kind of lagging behind. What do you think's going to happen?
I think that the Lions are going to be ahead in the fourth quarter and still come back from the Jets and win.
The Giants, you mean?
The Giants,
they're synonymous. I'm picking the Lions as well. Just
fucking pride or whatever they are.
Yeah, one pride. The only thing I could see happening, the Giants did beat the Lions last year, which was, which I don't think means much anymore. But the one thing I could see the Giants winning is if Odell Beckham comes back and is playing like how he usually does, which is carrying the fuck out of the offense. That's really the only way I can see the Giants winning. And again, I'm not very optimistic about the Lions either, but yeah. They just have weird fucking ways of winning. They're almost going on, and this is gonna sound weird to say, but you'll understand what I mean in a second. They're almost on Patriots levels of you can't pick against them, because it's literally like it will seem like you're completely right for 3.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden 28-35 points later the Lions are like blowing at them out, and you're like, what the shit?
Yeah. Where did this come from? Where has this been?
Yeah, right. So it's like,
why can't you win a Super Bowl?
If the Lions played like they always were in the fourth quarter, it would be the best team in football. But well, maybe that's a stretch. But it would still be like they'd still be like winning games like just constantly. It's just Yeah, it's just insane. So maybe we'll see another comeback for the Lions, and I will not feel comfortable at all watching this game on Monday night. Oh boy! All right, so pretty. I think I think we only deferred on 3 games overall. With
which means that barring like chaos stuff, which two of them are chaos.
yeah,
Uh, uh, like we're gonna not be tied this week.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. I don't think there is a way for that to happen. Yeah,
well,
like
we will be tied if like chaos stuff happens.
right, and well, I think chaos stuff probably means like if one team ties, yeah,
No,
like that, which would really be a
no, I meant
bummer.
if our like team chaos picks pay off.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking just overall record. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah. I think I like the. I at first, like I said earlier in the podcast, I thought I was a little hesitant about like being like if you pick a team chaos, you know you the or you when you pick your team chaos, you have to pick them to win. At first, I was like I don't know about that, but now I'm like all right, I'm all in. Let's make this
yeah.
let's make it an interesting season with these team chaos picks out of nowhere. And, and then like all of a sudden if we get it right, well, it could be a little bit more fun. um but all right, you know what, no, all right, I was thinking at first like maybe I'll switch the Browns to be the team
Oh,
chaos, but I'm thinking, well, no, the Ravens are at home, and it's probably just best that I keep with the Bills for now.
yeah.
Regardless of that. So yeah, looking good. Before we go, I'm pretty sure we still have a little bit of time to spare. I I just have to open up my soundboard real quick. It is time for Hollywoo Stars.
Yes, it is.
And so this is a weekly show that we're going to try to do as much as possible. A little update on the most important fantasy team, at least in this group, between
Yeah.
us, and that is the Hollywoo Stars for Gocubs. Please give us a status update on how you are doing.
All right, so this is not the league that I'm in with Chris. This is
Correct.
the league. This is my like quote unquote most important league. I usually pick one every year, and it's just with the trombone section of my college. That's like this is the league uh, that I'm gonna put my
Oh, well,
last
we
week.
may
Uh,
we may have lost
uh,
Gocubs. We may have lost him. That is not good. Okay.
Tucker.
Oh God, go Cubs! Yeah, he is cutting out, which is a shame. If that if that is any if this is gonna continue,
What?
you were cutting out that whole
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah, you were too.
yeah. Can you start from from the once you finished up talking about how this is the most important fantasy league for your trombone section?
It's cut out again. Fuck this.
Oh God. Are you good oh Jesus! All right, we're going to one bar right now. This is not good.
Bye.
Hi. This is
All right.
technical difficulties right now.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna just start renaming my team.
Okay.
All right. So I have Marcus Mariota, Melvin Gordon, C.J. Anderson, A.J. Green, Terrell Pryor Sr., Greg Olson, Jeremy Maclin, Justin Tucker, and Kareem Hunt, all as potential starters.
Okay.
Uh, I also have the Bills and Vikings defense, who I may do away with and just go with streaming defense this season.
Okay.
Which just means picking whatever defense seems the best for this week. And provided my waiver goes through, I will now have Tariq Cohen on my team as well.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I think all that's
All right.
that's
So
reaching.
yeah. So the Hollywoo Stars won their first game, won their first matchup by, what is this? 18 points.
18 points. Oh, all right. Pretty good.
107 to 89. The opponents unfortunately could not play their usual starting quarterback of Jameis Winston due to the postponement, so they had to settle for Eli Manning.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh,
That's a rough one.
so in the head-to-head matchups, Marcus, my quarterback, my RB1, my wide receiver one, my flex, my defense, and my kicker all outperformed point wise my opponent.
Huh. All right.
The highest score on my team being Melvin Gordon with 18.9 PPR points. The lowest score being unfortunately Greg Olson with only 3.8 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't have as strong of a game
No.
as expected. Uh,
Sitting on my bench is Kareem Hunt with 45.6 points, which is very unfortunate, but I'm expecting him to do very well next week against the Eagles, and I will be starting him for sure.
yeah.
Uh,
Hopefully, it's
so
not one and
my
done.
yeah, my current starting lineup is Marcus Mariota, Melvin Gordon, Kareem Hunt, AJ Green, Terrell Pryor, Greg Olson, Devonta Parker, who I forgot to mention, Vikings defense, and Justin Tucker. Vikings defense might change. I might pick up a different defense for this week and just kind of like go through them. I'll talk with you about it, what you think is the best one. But
Yeah,
that's for another day.
yeah.
So Hollywoo Stars start off 1-0. We are currently leading my division. There's 2 divisions of 5, and I'm currently in first place overall because I also had the highest points for out of anyone in my division.
Very nice, very nice. And now you have all 32 teams competing. So I don't know if you had anyone from the Dolphins or the Buccaneers. I think you said
I
Devontae
did.
Parker.
I had Devonta
Parker.
Parker, but that was it.
Yeah. So now you have the full slate to choose from. Should be really fascinating to see how you do. And I think you came close last year, right? You got
I got second place last year,
got to the championship, but
and the
lost.
guy that I faced this week won the championship last year, so it was kind of like a revenge thing.
Well, yeah, you got a little
But
revenge game. There you go.
I also had a really shit team last year. This year I have a really good team. So
Yeah, redemption. It's time for redemption for you. I have confidence in you. I think that you could do pretty well. But and we'll make sure that we'll try to sponsor you as much as possible. The MMG podcast. Make sure you're wearing your uniform. MMG across your uniform, and be just like the NBA with their.
Are you gonna give me money to sponsor me?
We'll talk about that. So guys, thank you. So
That's what I thought.
Just just to recap real quick, for our picks, the team chaos to watch this week will be the Bears against the Buccaneers for Gocubs, and then the Bills against the Panthers.
Completely off.
Uh,
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You're back. I hear you.
Hello.
You're not hearing me.
Hello. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2.
You're not hearing me.
Chris. Hello.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna cut Gocub's audio for now while I just talk real quick. So Bears team chaos. Can you hear me again?
Yes.
All right, cool. You literally, all of a sudden, you just kept saying hello, hello, as I was just like, "Go Cubs!" I'm talking.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Bears. I was just saying that the Bears and the Bills are going to be our team chaoses of this week, and so it'll be interesting to see if either of them can pull off the upset. Meanwhile, the Raiders and the Patriots are our guarantees. If by any chance either of these teams lose, they should be ashamed of themselves, 1, and 2, we will be end up losing points because of it. But I'm hoping the gamble with the Bills pays off. But at the same time, I think the Panthers will probably take care of business. But I'll pick the Bills to win, just for now. All right. Good. And I think the Bears are probably a really good team chaos pick because I don't know. I feel like many people are probably sleeping on them as potential all of a sudden contending. And it'll be fascinating to watch. All right, that is it for today's NFL episode. I hope that you all enjoyed. Be good to one another. Be kind to one another. Go Cubs. Any final thoughts?
Eat some cheesy popcorn.
I like how that was like broken up at the same time. Use some cheese and popcorn.
I love my internet.
It's well, we'll get through it. All right, see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.